What's good, everybody? How y'all doing? It's me, your homie Shane O'Mac, coming to you live from the Three Bells podcast, the East New York section of the table. I am joined here today by, of course, all of you that is watching. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Friday. TGIF, we reach the end of the week, everybody. But I'm not here alone to say hi. Also sitting next to me is the man, Mr. Mundo, Mr. AKA himself. What's going on, Mundo?
Yeah. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Mundo, Mr. AKA himself, coming to you live on this beautiful Friday night, channeling my inner Stephen A. Smith as I always do every Friday. What's going on, Shane? What's going on, Jay? What up?
Always good to have Mundo in the house. And of course, sitting next to him, the coolest guy on the block, near the block. It's our historian. It's Mr. Russell himself, Mr. Triple J. What's good, Jay?
Triple J is now in your city. What's going on, fellas? Yo, let's get it on tonight. I'm happy. I'm hyped. It's Friday. Oh, man, let's get it.
And with that being said, let us begin. We bells. Well. The internet asked for it, they assumed it, and they got it. Quick reminder that as of today, we have 22 days to WrestleMania Saturday. But again, everyone asked for it and everyone knew that it was coming. We had a Smackdown episode that opened with, of course, The Rock. And we all got The Rock concert. The Rock sang, he dazzled, he did some rhymes, he did some dissing, he did some pettiness, he did some shade. He did The Rock. Made fun of the Cody and the Cody Cryans, even had a clip to back it up. And he had a personal note to Cody's mom, which I thought was very petty. One of the interesting things that happened, though, was the chant from the audience when they said, "Whoop that trick." This is a popular chant courtesy of Trick Williams from NXT when he pulled out this special belt that he's going to whoop that Cody with. Cody's blood, and Rock's spit, and Mommy's tears. And he's going to kneel down to her as he gives her the belt and say, "What can I say unless you're welcome?" And after all of that, he ends his segment by saying, "If you smell what the final boss is cooking." Jay, I'm going to start with you, and then Des to follow in terms of your thoughts on this Rock concert opening.
Bro, you know how much I was feeling for this to happen. Like, once they announced that they was going to be in Memphis, Tennessee, all you could think about was, when The Rock did his concert back in the day. So I was just, telling you guys for a minute, like, yo, we need this. And then as soon as the show's happening and we see what's out in the ring, I'm like, oh shit, it's time. We're about to get it. And then at the fact we got the Hollywood Rock theme mixed with his new theme. That shit was fire, bro. Like, and then the crowd was 100% behind The Rock, cheering The Rock until he said Cody's name, and then they booed for a minute. But then the whoop that trick chance put a smile to my face for my fellow NXT people. And then at that, when he put the Stardust picture on the screen, I was like, this is why I fucks with you, Rock. Because this is how I feel. I see him the same way as Stardust still. And then, you know, he mentioned the fact about the women were cheering him, and he was, and then he said the drugs and condoms were a cheap combo to make Cody. So I'm like, yo, he's going in. And then the fact that he brought up John Morant and the gun situation, that was an extreme low blow that I didn't see coming at all, you know. And then The Rock was like, yo, there's some lines that you don't cross because I'm the final boss. And I'm thinking to myself at the same time, you know, it was that a shot at, Mrs. CEO in AEW, the former boss. And, you know, also, when he was talking to Mama Rhodes and he was like, he's gonna beat the dog shit out of him. I was like, yeah, this is the next generation Rock mixed with the old generation, and I was feeling it the whole way. I was hearing the house chanting Rocky, and I just wanted to hear more and more, and I was welcoming it. It was definitely one of the top promos of the year. I'm not gonna lie to you, this one hit tonight. Des,
Des, before you answer, Jay, let me ask a question. You mentioned that he took a shot at what's his name, the basketball player and the gun charge, I guess, whatever like that.
John Morant.
What was the connection? Like, why would he say that? Like, what did that have to do with anything?
I don't know. That's why I'm like, yo, where did that come from? The John Morant. I didn't expect the gun charge, being more famous than John Morant. I was like, whoa, you know, that was like an extreme below the belt.
Um, the reason why he said that is because he's in Memphis, and Ja is the star of the Memphis Grizzlies, guys. He's the star of their basketball team, so he took a shot at the team and their star.
Oh, oh, okay. Oh, so that's why they was like booing him like that more than. Oh, okay. Copy that, Des.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, that's the arena that they play in, the FedEx Forum. That's the Memphis Grizzlies home. So yeah, he took a shot at the hometown team and their star. Um, for me, Lord have mercy. As a musician, the transition and the remix of the new theme song into the old Hollywood rock song, but in the middle where they transitioned, I don't know if you guys heard it, but you got pieces of even older rock songs. This is the rock says, know your damn role. And it goes into the Hollywood rock song. I was like, oh shit. And you can see it on the Rock's face because he couldn't wait for that shit to drop. As soon as that shit dropped, he started smiling. He was like, yeah, we going there. We going all the way back. I'm taking you back every week. So I was like, okay, this is a great opening with the electricity and everything like that. The graphics that we got last week. Jay, I'm gonna disagree with you, Jay. That whole final boss thing is nothing to do with Sasha Banks, bro. That's everything to do with Roman Reigns. Because at the end of the day, when you play a video game and you have all the different levels, at the end of the game, you reach the final boss. And he's calling himself the final boss. So clearly the tribal chief is not the final boss. It's me. I'm the final boss. I'm the guy that that you got to get over to get over. So that was a subliminal shot at Roman, as he's been doing damn near every week. You just got to pay attention a lot with his promos. You can't just be super hyped at what he's doing, but listen. Yeah, as you said, Jay, he torched the shit out of Cody with that Stardust. He torched Seth with the picture of him and Becky, and saying Becky's more over than he is, and he's desperate, and he's had his legs crossed and all that other stuff. I overall just thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. And Shane, just to give you a little background, when he said, "You're welcome," that was a quote from the song that he sang in the movie Moana. I mean, I've seen it, so yeah, his character, he had a whole song called "You're Welcome." So I guess that was maybe him doing a little promo for the second part of that movie that's coming out soon. But yeah, that's why that was a little bit cool as well.
Des,
And yeah,
Des,
yo, yeah,
can I ask you? Do you think that was a shot to when Becky mentioned about the fact that she was, that Seth was fighting the guy from Moana?
it's possible. That's very possible. I mean, he's dragged her into it, so it's very possible. But I thought it was cool. And he did it so simply. Like, he didn't even say it too loud. It was just like a little hint. But yeah, that's all I got to say about it. I enjoyed it. And he didn't go too long because he did recycle some of the stuff that he showed, on Twitter earlier in the day. But he made it more PG because Lord have mercy, was he flaming on Twitter earlier? My God. Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. On Twitter, he is saying all types of f bombs. Like he's using like almost every curse word that he might would have been able to slip during the Attitude Era. But well, hopefully maybe in the Netflix era. But is it fair to say that he did all of this? Like the stage is already set in terms of what he's doing for Mania. So this is just him, I guess, giving the audience what they want, which is what, or like a rock concert, and him just talking smack, because he's not giving us any like new information, anything like that. He's just saying, "Hey, I'm The Rock, and I'm here. Pay high money for these tickets to come and see me sing." I mean, it seems like that's what we got tonight. Because jumping ahead, we're going to see, I guess, some response or whatever, um, next week. So let me before we continue, I want to let's give a shout out to all of the amazing people that is joining us today. Of course, Lawan, our homie, our new homie, Mr. Mars. We met him not too long ago. Welcome aboard, man. Spotlight, we see you, boo. We see you. Ray Fleming, we see you. And now it's just RJ. We see all of you. We say thank you so much for joining us. Glad you can join us. Hope you stick around. If you have any questions or you just want to say hi, drop a note. Don't be a stranger. And speaking of notes, let's play these notes right here.
That came from him being in Memphis. John Morant plays for the Memphis Grizzlies. That's why he said that shit. I thought it was totally uncalled for. It should have never been mentioned. Rock needs to kind of tone down his promos sometimes because sometimes he just be wilding. I get it, it's great entertaining, but some of the shit he be saying, I just be like, yeah, this motherfucker's wilding. But it was a great promo, man. And I felt like he took a shot about Roman when he was like, he's the final boss. So if I'm Roman Reigns and I'm watching that shit, man, I'm looking at him like, what you mean the final boss? You just acknowledge me. I'm the one that's been holding the title for this certain amount of time. What you mean you're the final boss?
And I totally agree, Lawan, and that's why I was asking Jay, like, what was the significance? Like, why would he say that? Because it's one thing if you had talked about the entire team or how bad they were or, how dirty the city is. Like, if you're going to diss Memphis and the team, diss the whole team, not just one person and their personal, situations that they're going through. Because to me, that seemed like a personal attack towards him and him only, not Memphis. Just because he played for Memphis doesn't mean that you put a personal attack on him. Because see, now you have given him plenty of reasons to come right back at you. And see, now it's personal. It's not even about Memphis anymore. It's not even about WWE. It's about him and The Rock. Let's play the second message.
I'm sorry.
You even got pieces of the throwback Rock and his theme song, man. I haven't heard that theme song since playing Smackdown. Here Comes the Pain. That's the Hollywood Rock. So they hear that theme mixed with the new theme, fire.
Dad, you was going to respond?
Yeah, I think you guys are taking it a little bit too personal. Because if you were watching, The Rock was just joking. He literally said, "I'm just messing with you. What's going on, Ja? What's up? Get well soon." Like he was making it was just a joke. It's nothing that serious. He literally within that promo, he was like, "Yeah, I'm just doing with you basically. Like I'm getting heat. That's my job to get heat, and it's nothing that nobody knows about. It's nothing that other people haven't talked about, joked about. So it's not that serious."
I mean, well, you got this response from me, and I'm sure that I'm not the only person. So, like I said, we'll see moving forward. But all in all, it was a good promo. It was good to see The Rock return, and that was a kick-ass theme song. And the whole jumbotron with the lightning and stuff like that, visually, that is freaking amazing, absolutely amazing. And by the way, for some reason, Twitter is comparing a close-up of The Rock with the shades with what's his name, Red Fox when he did Harlem Nights. Remember, he had to put his glasses on because he couldn't see at the roulette table. So they gave him those big ass glasses with the big eyes. For some reason, they're doing those two pictures side by side and say that's what The Rock looked like tonight.
Yo, 11.
Yeah.
Nah, I was confused too because at a certain angle, I was like, are those shades or are those actual glasses? I wasn't sure until they got a front view of them. I was like, oh, those are glasses. Okay, gotcha.
Because it was real close on him, like close. Like you could see all the bumps and nooks and crannies and everything all in his face. It's like, wow, this like he's really aging. So let's before we continue, I want to quick fast play this message from Hennessy.
Shout out to the fellas at the Three Bells podcast, Mundo, Shane, Triple J. Yeah, he was definitely getting heat, and a lot of people called what John Morant was doing stupid and unnecessary. So a lot of people said that on, under, ESPN. A lot of analysts said that, And John Morant didn't take it, to our knowledge, he didn't take it publicly, personally. Let me say it like that, So I don't see any reason why he would take it that way in the first place, The only thing we could really say is, dang, Rock, you kind of bring it back up. Honestly, still, I didn't have a problem with that part. He's being a dick. I was very much entertained by the beat switch. I couldn't stay still in my chair. That just set everything off. He's doing a lot of things that people were wanting, when he started to make this turn. The belt buckle, the music, the way he talks, like, Yeah, he's doing a lot.
You know, one thing about this stereo, I have to say, you know, I'm looking at the 4 listeners and they have their names under their pictures. However, when you leave a message for some reason, it's a different name. So if you're wondering why I'm calling you by the particular names, it's because it's what I'm seeing right now. And then I see another name when you leave me a message. So weird. So weird.
Shane,
Let's move on. Yes? Yes,
I
Dan?
just want to give a shout out to the fellas of Podgression. That's the fellas that we have right now, Mars and Nah. Thank y'all for joining in. I was listening to y'all earlier this week, last night actually, I believe it was, and yeah, thanks for joining us, guys.
Okay, Paul Question in the house. That's what's up. That's what's up. Good to have you guys here. Let's be best friends. Let's be friends and let's go to match number 1. We keep getting all of these messages. I'm going to play this one last message today. We're going to move on to. So I have a lot. We have a lot to
Yeah,
talk about the show.
back in the day, it used to be the names you see pop up in the messages would be the names that would be shown as you look in the audience without the message. I don't know why they switched it to this. They did this sometime last year. They switched to showing our at names when we're in the audience. So I don't know, but you're all good. You good.
Yeah, that is weird, but cool. As long as you know that I'm giving you a shout out and giving you the love the way that you're giving us love by being here tonight, that's what that matters. That's what's up. Just like the love we saw on match number 1, it was part of the tag team champion qualifying match. It's for this whole 6-pack of beer tag team crap at Mania, whatever. So we got Legato Le Fantasma, however Des says it's so way better than I do, versus LWO. Had that sexy Electra Lopez and sexy Zelina. Mm-hmm. Had a good match. It is so good to see these guys. These guys, you know, they are really, really good to see, really entertaining. And these guys, especially Berto, used to be Umberto. He is really stepping up his game. He really did a good job in this match, I thought. One of the moves that really impressed me was when both Legato men was on the second rope and threw this guy off at the top rope at the same time. I thought that was like a really ouch moment. And then the wow moment for me was Legato's finisher. That was also like a big wow moment. All in all, I did enjoy that match. Legato wins and they advance. Des, going to start with you and then Jay to follow. And anyone listening, feel free to drop in terms of your thought for our first match for tonight. Jay?
Well, with the first match, I
Wait, hold
actually
on.
saw.
You said Des. I'm gonna start with you, and then you said Jay, Shane. Who's going? Okay, so anyway, yeah, as Shane stated, that final move by LWO, I don't even know, they didn't give it a name, but that was pretty cool. I was like, oh shit, nice. Not by LWO, excuse me, by LDF, because I refuse to say their name because I'm not fucking it up no more on this app. Nope, no. So LDF, that finisher that they had was pretty fucking awesome. At first, my first thought was LWO finally is looking like the LWO that we see on NXT every week. You know, they look strong. They were, you know, finally getting the upper hand on LDF. And then, as always, they always lose to these guys. I don't know what the deal is. Like, they just can't get a full match looking like the LWO of NXT, and it's starting to piss me off because, again, like I stated on Tuesday, we get like two different versions of these guys in 1 week, and it's really frustrating because it's like you want to follow behind them, but then it's like, damn, they're doing them dirty every Friday. So yeah, they got to figure that out. That standing Spanish fly was pretty fucking awesome as well. But yeah, again, I personally was not satisfied with the winners of this match because again, LWO seems to keep taking L's by LDF, and I just don't get it. I you know, coming from Tuesday into Friday, they look strong on Tuesday and then look crazy on Friday. So Jay, I don't know, man.
Hey, what you seen and what I seen was the same thing, you know. And with these guys with LWO, we got a similar offense that they had on Tuesday night. You know, they was just speedy, quick, methodical. They were doing what they had to do. But at the same time, you got Angel and Berto. You know, these are guys that they're in search of wins themselves because they don't really win like that either. So, you know, this was a situation where either team, you know, they desperately needed this win. And you could see how hungry both teams were, you know, within this match. They went at it, they went back and forth. The Spanish fly, the in air toss with the kick to the stomach. You're like, bro, you know, the entire match to me was deserving of, you know, maybe another 5 more minutes of just speed and high flying because that's what that's what I enjoyed out both those teams. And it was cool. Legato won. They move on into this tournament. LWO, we'll see you Tuesday night. Shane, take it away.
So is it just me, or is it like a theme of where some of these guys, like LWO and Breaker and Dragon Lee, it seems like we're getting the better of them on NXT than we're getting here on SmackDown? I mean, is it because that they're going against even or bigger name opponents on SmackDown and they're like helping giving them a push or whatever to help them make them look better, as opposed to them being on NXT where they're already like the top tier guys there? Like, is this like the thing? This is like the theme that I'm really starting to notice here. It's almost like they're starting to become like top tier jobbers. Or is it just me, Des and Jay?
Nah, because Shane, this goes back to our conversation on Tuesday where we were saying, like, why is it that we get two different versions of Braun Breaker and two different versions of LWO, and now you're bringing up Dragon Lee, even though we haven't seen him on NXT in a while, but it's like I don't get it. If you don't want them to be the strong team or person that they are on NXT, I mean, in Braun's case is different. He's just beating jobbers in quick seconds. But as far as LWO, the way Sean books them, they look good. But then the way Triple H books them on Fridays, it's like, what the fuck? Because most times they're either getting their ass beat or they get some momentum in a match and then they lose it and then they get their ass beat again. So it's like, I'm so confused by it. It's so weird. And this is why I said to y'all weeks ago why I don't want NXT talent going to SmackDown, because they're just gonna, it's just not gonna work out. Like, I like when they had Dragon Lee going to Raw, because they have more time to let them, do what they do. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's really frustrating. It's frustrating as fuck. Jay.
Nah, like the way I'm seeing all of this, LWO, they've been on the main roster for a minute, so I'm gonna take them out of the whole thing because they just went back to NXT maybe as of a month ago, but with everybody else, with Humberto and this guy, they were NXT for like what? Not even a good 2 months before they came back to the main roster. Braun, they set him up in a bad path. They kind of figuring it out. Like, look, we didn't have him last week. We didn't have him this week. We don't got nothing for him on this roster. With the tag teams, it seems like there's not enough on SmackDown, so they're forced to throw these guys on 2 shows in 1 week. And we're always gonna be force fed something different from one show to the next because, like Shane had said, the level of talent that they're fighting with is equal to them, and they want to make sure they show them what the main roster is about when they go down there to fight. So, it's wishy-washy for some of us that be like, damn, this person shouldn't be there. Maybe they're getting track of it, and maybe they're gonna tone down with like maybe Braun. They'll probably tone down with him and be like, look, this wasn't the right move. Maybe we'll bring him back later, and you know, it's to be continued within this tag team division and hope they fix it. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know why they're doing this. I mean, it's not like NXT is a different market from SmackDown. It's just a different show, but it's all under the same umbrella. It's not like, Breaker is like brand new to the SmackDown audience because some of the SmackDown audience knows about NXT. But if it was a different circuit, then yeah, I understand that. But it's all in the same umbrella, if you want to call it. But we'll see moving forward as to how much more they're going to do with these guys on SmackDown, because we already know that they're going to be like awesome on NXT. But we'll see.
And
Speaking of
Shane,
awesome,
the crazy thing is, Shane, it's not, it's 2 or 3 days apart. Literally, the last thing that WWE audiences see is NXT on Tuesday, and then you tune in on Friday, and you see the same people, and they look completely different. Like, it's so weird, bro. So weird.
yeah, it is weird, and I hope they're not trying to package two different breakers because yes, we understand there are some people that watch SmackDown that can't watch NXT, so I get that. But why would you what you want to call it, like water down or change the seasoning of these wrestlers for SmackDown? I don't know. This is a deep conversation that we can have later on, but we would keep this in our Rolodex, fellas, in terms of moving forward and having this conversation because we will have this conversation again because something is going to happen that's going to lead us into this conversation. But before we move on, let's quickly play these messages.
I like LWO. The only problem with LWO and the reason why they don't win no matches is because these guys can't cut a promo. These guys don't know how to talk on the mic yet. So that's one of the main reasons I think why they lose a lot. They can't cut no promos yet. Somebody's always talking for them, either Carlito or Rey Mysterio is talking for them.
Little Juan, what are you doing back there? Where you're washing dishes as you're talking on the mic on your phone? I got some dishes here for you, buddy. Come on over here and wash these dishes, and I'll give you some more time to be invested. Let's listen to some more messages. We got.
I think Legado del Fantasma was supposed to win because they seem like they're about to be or supposed to be the bigger group, the bigger tag team currently, especially dealing with what they may or may not want to do with, well, probably what they want to do with Santos Escobar, because I think he's set up to really do some huge things after Mania. So you need the group to already be strong, and they might have a good showcase at Mania. I don't know if they'll win. Maybe they might be one of the teams that win. It would be good if they win, actually. But I think LWO doesn't have it currently.
You know, I'm thinking, Hen, that in the long run, they won for a reason. Because I'm sure a lot of people are saying the same thing. Why did these guys win? But in the long run, I'm sure it's going to be a reason that's going to make a little bit of sense. But we shall see. One more time, Hen.
The only thing about LWO right now is Rey Mysterio, and they're just going to make this a Santos and Rey thing instead of a. I mean, the groups are going to get involved, but their best bet is to just make this a Santos Rey thing instead of doing a big group thing. Because truth be told, I think they want more of Legado del Fantasma than LWO. And also, one thing I peeped, I think they're trying to push us to really get into Joaquin Wilde. They want us to really, he's been doing a lot of the big moments for the tag matches as far as like the high flying thing. So I think they really want us to focus on him at some point in time because honestly, he's nice.
I agree on his take of Joaquin.
And you know what? We might see something, as soon as after Mania? Because usually after Mania, that's when a lot of stories end, some begin. And then the week of after Mania, a lot of stories begin, yes? So maybe that'll be his time that he will start to shine, Des?
You think that they're going to break up LWO?
Break up LW? I don't know. That wasn't on my mind, but hey, the way Triple H thinks, who knows?
Right. I mean, I don't think it would be safe yet for him to go solo again because of who's holding the other belts. He would get lost in the shuffle. So I think it's his best bet. I think they need to build that team more. Do what they did with Alpha Academy. You can still build both characters while they're in a team. Then you can build them out to be a singles competitor. So I think it's still a little bit too early, but I don't think he was saying that it was getting ready to happen. But I see where he's coming from, though. Like all the big spots is all on him. So let's see.
You're right. Let's see. Let's play these quick messages and then we move on. These are from Marsh.
I think one of the biggest problems is a lot of the titles are like deadlocked. Like there's no reason for there to be like undisputed titles, like unless Judgment Day is going to be on both shows. I feel like that about the mid-Carter belts too. Like the U.S. title and like Gunther, there's no reason Gunther should it's just holding up all of the big like feuds that they could have that makes these guys into main eventers. So with Logan holding on to the U.S. title for as long as he has and Gunther doing the same, you don't really get the steam where you could flush out most of the NXT talent. But a lot of the NXT people ain't really ready. Like I feel like JD McDonough's probably the best that they brought up in the past 2 years because like last year he was NXT Rookie of the Year, at least to me.
Shane, doesn't it seem like Mars and I just basically mirrored what we were saying? I was like, because of who's holding the current titles, like it's stunting the growth of certain guys because of the fact that Gunther is IC champion still. So you're like, whoever he goes against, you feel yes, they will put on the best performance of their careers, but the fact that he's champion is like, damn, we can't see anybody else being a champion until he's not champion anymore. Then, like I said on Monday, if we have a Sami Zayn beating him, then it's like, okay, now that opens up the conversation for more guys being able to be more believable to be a champion again. And the same thing for the U.S. title, because of our resident celebrity holding the belt. Again, it has to be somebody of big stature to beat him, and then it'll go back to being, okay, everybody can qualify to face for this belt and be believable to win. So I agree with him on that. And the fact that we've been clamoring for the freaking title belts, the tag title belts, to be split. I'm getting annoyed. I don't know if you guys from Progression, if y'all been saying the same thing as we've been saying on here, but we've been calling for that for weeks and months, probably.
My bad. That's rude of me, guys. Shout out to the 3 Bills, man. My bad. I'm cooking right now. I would have been leaving more messages, but I love y'all show, man. Big ups to y'all, man. Much love from the Ruthless Pod, man.
Yeah, that's what I love. I love it when people do their useful things, they live in their lives, and at the same time listening to the 3 Bells podcast as they're living their lives and they're doing their thing. Gotta love it, gotta love it. But this is my thing though with the whole IC title before we move forward. Out of all the competitors that he's had, Sami Zayn is going to be the one that defeats him. I'm not buying that. I'm sorry. I'm not buying that. I like the boy Sammy, but out of all the people, he's the one that's going to beat him. See, now to me, that is not realistic to me. Now, if you bring all of these guys from NXT or whatever to come and fight them, and they fight and they come close to winning but not winning, to me, that's okay. They still will get the fight. They'll get some TV time. I mean, everybody is not going to get their hands on the IC titles and the US titles. Going for it though, that's another story. You can see that right there is an accomplishment because not every single person gets to have that chance. So you get the chance, of course, you're going to try to be the guy that beats him. And if you don't beat him, then okay. And then let's say that you do it. You beat him, you're the IC champion. How long are you going to be a fighting champion? Are you going to try to be like Roman and only get out of bed for only $10,000 and over? I mean, it can go so many ways. We are getting a lot of messages today, y'all.
See, even with Sami Zayn, I feel like they fumbled the ball with Zayn. He's already held the IC title multiple times, and that's what, how Mundo said, studying the growth of the new talent. There's just a whole lot of new talent just waiting in the Raptors that we're not going to be able to see. Make Carter belts aren't the world title belts, so there's no reason for people to just hold on to those titles were meant to be in the kitchen cooking.
Des, you was going to say something?
Yeah, it was for Jay and then you. Jay, from the evidence that you showed us in the chat earlier this week, do you believe that there will somehow, some way be a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship based on the fact that Chad Gable's shoulders were not down for that pin? Or do you think that it'll just be ignored? Jay?
If I'm Chad, I'll do anything in my damnness to be like, look, my shit wasn't down. I want a rematch. But then again, if they're going this TKO route, this match is official. This match is in the books, and the momentum's gonna just being carried over to Sammy. But at the same time, like everybody's saying, they really fumbled this one with Sammy. And for someone like Chad hasn't had singles gold, and he's one who, in my eyes, every time I see him wrestle, all I could think is of, Kurt Angle. Bro, he needs that push. Once he gets that push, you already know the crowd's ready to be behind him. They already thank him. They already, throw the 2 hands up in the air and all of that. They shoosh. He's had the crowd for at least the past 2 years, on and off. And I'm ready to see someone else different because I don't want it to be Sammy at all. Sammy was crying boo-hoo about him not winning anything, and now all of a sudden, he's now the number 1 contender. So, I feel there's something lurking in the background, but, who are we to say that they're going to really do it for us? And we already seen the amount of backlash Sammy received this whole week on, online and, from all platforms saying, you shouldn't have won. And look at all of us here. We're saying the same shit. He shouldn't have. Shane? Des?
Well, it seems to me that what happened at that moment with his shoulders possibly or not possibly down is started this whole conversation from all of us in the universe throughout the week. So we know that WWE is looking and watching and hearing what we're saying. And this is probably going to determine on Monday if it is going to be fact Sammy alone versus Gunther, or they're going to say, yeah, because we studied the video and saw that your shoulders wasn't down. So what they're going to do, they're either going to have a rematch or just say, you know what, screw it. Let's just have another three-way. Let's have a three-way with you two guys going up against Gunther. That's what it seems like what's going on. Because, I would think like right about now we would have heard something, but the only thing we're hearing is that most people, well, a lot of people don't agree with Sammy being in the match. Let's play a
Shane,
couple. Yes, Des.
I, I'm sorry. I started this, so I have more to add to this if you don't mind, Shane.
Go right ahead.
Did you know?
Hit it. Oh,
So
goodness.
yeah,
You said you have more to add. You didn't say no goddamn did you know segment.
I got you right now. I was about to say, look, apparently Booker T revealed that Sami Zayn was upset about the online reaction to him winning the gauntlet match instead of Chad Gable on Raw this week. So Sammy's pissed at people like you and at people like Jay. And I didn't give an opinion on it, but yeah. Shane, did you know? Let me stop.
Okay, this is what I have to say about both, about Sammy's response to everybody who has the freedom to feel the way they feel, and the fact that Booker T had to say something. So what? Who cares? What do we care? Why do we care? Does what you saying change anything? No, it's just an opinion, just like we all have an opinion. We all think of the same thing. Who cares? Sammy, who cares what we think? And you're the reason why we think it this way, because it was you the one that was crying, talking like, I got to do this and I got to do that, and if I don't make it, and if I don't get the title, then that's it for me. That's it for me. Well, hello. It seems to be that it was it for you beforehand anyway, because you had lost your you lost your pepper, you lost your fizz of your Pepsi. Okay, so now you get this one final shot, and now it is official. The world is against you. What are you gonna do now? You even got Booker T, yeah, man. You even got him saying what he says, even though it don't care because it doesn't change anything. So whatever. I'm gonna grab this glass of drink courtesy of LA Knight as we are having, well, what I thought would have been an in-ring interview. But then Mr. Cocky himself, LA Knight, said, let me take this mic away from you and you ease on down the road to the back as I talk to you. Let me talk to you. Whatever he says. And he's talking and he's ranting. It's the same old spiel for the past couple of weeks. And we're basically looking at a possible LA Knight versus AJ Styles at Mania. He's saying his thing, he's doing his thing, and he's standing there for a second. And I said, I bet all of my money in China that AJ is going to come out from the back and hit him. And lo and behold, right on cue, AJ comes out with the chair and hits him in the back. While AJ is laying on the ground, while LA Knight is on the ground, AJ unfolds the chair and sits on top of his chest, and he leans down and he says, I accept. So it's official, everyone. We have LA versus AJ at Mania. I don't know what you guys think about this, even though I've known you guys spoke about this being possible. Jay, yes, we know you're still here, Jay. Jay and Jay only, quick fast, what do you think of this? Because wasn't it you that said that you wanted to see this or you saw this possible?
Well, we all kind of saw it possibly happening because at Elimination Chamber he attacked them, and then prior to that, they was already beefing when they had to go against Roman. So AJ feels like you took my spot when I was down, so now I gotta get your ass and get you down. But at the same time, Shane, when they did that whole promo and they did it up on the ramp, I already kind of had that same feeling you did. Like, AJ's gonna come just because of the spot they're at, and for him to do it and then to sit over him with the chair and tell him he accepts, that was old. That was real classic and old school. And he didn't do too much, to add fuel to the fire, but just doing that alone was wild. And you know, fuck it, that's a match that's gonna sell, in my opinion, because AJ makes you look good in the ring, and LA Knight had momentum, and it seems like they're trying to give him more momentum leading into down the line when you have Money in the Bank and SummerSlam down the line.
Des, you wanted to say something? You unmuted.
Yeah, bro. How could you forget? I predicted this match. I called this shit for WrestleMania a long time ago before Elimination Chamber and all that. It was just so obvious. I was like, this is going to be a WrestleMania match, regardless of what's going on. Remember, I called it from when they was having the beef during the Fatal 4-Way. I was like, yeah, this is going to be a match for WrestleMania. And then I called him and I was like, oh, he's going to cost him a chance to win the Fatal 4-Way. And they're going to just keep beefing. And they did. So I'm very not surprised at this at all. So I'm expecting this should be something good for LA.
Well, there you go then. You know what? I'll tell you what, dude. Here you go, man. Here's your flowers for predicting the future. And I'm going to give you some more flowers when you predict the numbers so we can upgrade our equipment. So I can have more sound buttons. We have a whole load of messages here. I don't know how I'm going to play this. I guess
They've added so many male tag teams to the division on both main roster shows that it is a hindrance to those teams for those belts, not just to be split, but in rotation. You know, I'm not saying you let somebody win the title every week, week by week by week, but, you know, dang.
Personally, Henny, I personally think that this whole 6-pack of beer match is stupid. And the fact that they had us wait 2 weeks to make that announcement, because we honestly thought that they was going to announce that they was going to split the titles so that Raw could have their own tag team and SmackDown could have their own tag team, and they was going to announce respectively a certain title, tournament, so that at the end we would have two respected tag team champions. But no, instead, and they even said, yeah, because our tag team division is growing, so what they're gonna do? They're just gonna have this big, gigantic qualifying tournament that's gonna lead to this big ass 6-pack of beer tournament at Mania. So that at the end, there's still gonna be one tag team with both titles. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. Mars says,
Yeah, I agree, bro. I love Sammy, don't get me wrong. But like Chad Gable is sitting right there. And like Chad Gable may seem young, but like Chad is like late 30s, bro. You don't have much time left with him.
I hope you're not falling for this whole, my daughter and my daughter's crying and seeing my daughter in the side of the audience as like one of the reasons why he should be in the match. I personally think that that is a ridiculous excuse because you could say that about anybody. You could say that about me. You could say that about Des. You could say that about Jay. Jay could go, wow, my boy Shane, he was sitting there, he was crying. He was on the phone with his parents and he was crying because of the fact that I lost. I really have to do this because I have to fight for him. I have to fight for the 3 belts table. I have to fight for Brooklyn. There's so many people that was crying. It's like, no. Nobody asked Jay to invite me and Brooklyn to that match, knowing that there was a 75-80% chance that he was going to lose. You can't use that as an excuse now because that should have been your excuse to win. Whatever, man.
Thank you, Shane. I have been saying this. I'm not buying it. It would be a bigger, more beautiful, more just feel good of a story if it's Chad Gable, someone who has had nothing, not much of nothing on the main roster to get that win. It would be just everything you really need for a Mania moment, and it puts the bet on someone who can have, again, more dope matches with multiple people in the Intercontinental Championship realm, and like one of y'all said, even if you put it on Sammy or you put it on Chad, you make the chances of someone else winning it more believable too. So you get a beautiful story and you get a whole division. It's right there.
I don't mind Gable winning, but I want him to win fair square. I want him to win, and I want him to get that opportunity because he earned it. I can see him being one of the very few guys to beat Gunther. I really do. But again, this whole using your child as an excuse to move forward, that is what I don't like. That is what I don't like.
And Triple J, this is why I said he needs a new gimmick. He has to change that gimmick. He has to get rid of Cesaro. He has to get rid of Otis. He has to get rid of the other girl that's on their team. He needs a new gimmick to be taken seriously. And what I think he should do is during WrestleMania, fuck up Sami Zayn's chances of winning the Intercontinental Championship because he already had that belt. He don't need that belt. Have him have a feud with Sami Zayn. This way, it could be a stepping stone for him, and people could look at him as a serious superstar. I think people already think Sami Zayn's a serious superstar. He's been in Bloodline feud. He's been with KO. He has great feuds. So I think they should do that after Mania.
A lot can be possible after Mania, a whole lot. Let us continue with what happened backstage. Well, there was a look back with Logan Paul and Randy Orton and KSI when they had first announced Prime was going to be the official in-ring logo. And then it led to Logan Paul talking to Nick Aldis, and he's talking about, there should be a punishment for Randy for what he did last week, stunning me and stunning KSI and pouring the drink on his nuts and everything like that. And Nick was like, well, you should go to Andy yourself and get an apology. What do you need me to do that for? And this all led to our match number 2. I can't believe we're on match number 2, which was Grayson Waller, along with his best friend Theory inside with Randy Orton. And I don't know if any of you noticed the little graphic on the lower left-hand side as Randy was slowly walking, because he was like, I'm Randy Orton. I would take my sweet-ass time to walk to the ring. He is one of the most decorative champions of all time. That was what the graphic said. But before the match started, and I'm going to ask you guys a question about this, we had a very interesting little promo from Jimmy Uso, as a response to Jey Uso's call out from Monday Raw. Jimmy says,
You forgot, did you? You forgot, before the right-hand man, before you becoming the main eventer, before you becoming the longest reigning tag team in WWE, you was my little brother. I raised you. And you followed me everywhere. I told you I got you. Yeah, last year at WrestleMania, it was me and you. This year at WrestleMania, it's me versus you. Hey, Oos, big bro, got you. You want me? Yes.
So the yeet means yes. We got Jay versus Jimmy at Mania. Des, I'm going to start with you, and then Jay to follow. We knew this was going to happen. Of course, brother versus brother. It was obvious. But the question is, who do you have for the win as of right this second as I'm asking you?
Of course, it's going to be Jay. I mean, only because of the story. Jimmy has been getting the one-up on Jay since he took on Roman last year for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, and he cost him the match then. And ever since then, he's been getting the one-up on him. He cost him the Intercontinental Championship. He made them lose the Tag Team Championships. I mean, he's been giving his brother hell ever since he left the Bloodline. So in this moment right now, I have Jay winning that match at WrestleMania. Jay, how about you?
I have Jay winning at Mania, but I wouldn't be too surprised, bro. I wouldn't be too surprised if Jimmy escapes with this, because he's been having some good heel work where, you look at him like, even though he's just laughing and all that other stuff, he has that menacing look like, at any moment he could be a ticking time bomb. So, I'm gonna stay with my choice, but I just wouldn't be too surprised. Maybe someone helps Jimmy where, solo, or maybe someone has Jay's side and be a surprise family member. You never know. Wink, wink.
Jay, this remember we spoke on this a little bit on Monday, and I was like how I brought up Rikishi and how I felt like he would be like he needs to be at ringside or somewhere during this match to make sure Solo doesn't interfere, and it's a one-on-one match between the two boys, and then at the end of the day, probably bring them together, or maybe not. Maybe it might go even further. But I think that Jay needs to win this match because Jay, as you can see on Raw, he still has the fans behind him, but yet it's like WWE doesn't know what to do with him. So it's a weird dynamic. So I think he needs to win. He needs to win to propel him even higher into the quote unquote main event atmosphere, and maybe he can finally go ahead and challenge again for a singles title. Shane?
Not for nothing, and I like Rikishi, love the man, but I don't want him there to do with that. Like, this is bloodline here that we're talking about. It's part of the story. It's part of this stitch to always have somebody there at the corner, whether you want it or not. He may be there, Jimmy, by himself at the start, but we all know somebody's going to come from the audience, maybe one, maybe two, or maybe from under the ring. So it would be smart if Jay would have come with somebody to help him out. I don't know who that somebody is, but dude, you have about 22 days to figure it out. Des, I want you, and then Jay to follow, because I have done a lot of talking and I have a lot more talking to do, but I want you to talk now concerning our second match with Grayson Waller versus Randy Orton. What are your thoughts on this match? And then Jay to follow.
You should have seen my face. I'm like, wait, what? You want me to what? I'm like, okay. But yeah, I don't know about y'all. The first note that I wrote down about this match was is Randy Orton like challenging The Rock for who can take the longest to get to the goddamn ring? Because I don't remember Randy Orton being so fucking slow, like getting to the ring. Like, bruh, he dragged that shit. I think the entrance might rival how long the match was tonight. Because I'm like, bro, I walked out with some business. I think I made like 2 sandwiches, and I came back. I'm like, this nigga's still he's on the top rope, still doing his pose. Like, what the hell is going on? I thought the match would have started by now. But yeah, it's not much for me to say about the match itself. But um, I'll say this: I found that stunner KO hilarious, and I think it was perfect timing by um Theory. Jay, I believe you said it last week or sometime this week, maybe. You said that eventually that this whole thing between Grayson and Theory would lead in somebody getting hit, and it happened tonight. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Now will Theory take that personally, and like, will this escalate, or will he just be like, oh, it's a misunderstanding? Question mark on that one. Um, and then with Nick Aldis coming down, it was pretty obvious where they were going because of the 2 weeks in a row now of Randy almost hitting KO. It was like, okay, it's giving. We're gonna fight eventually, but then you also got to key in and remember that Randy was the one that eliminated KO from the Elimination Chamber. So it can be beef there, regardless of the fact that KO respects Randy. And why not? Why not put Logan in a position where he has unfinished business with KO, he has unfinished business with Randy? All right, put him in a match with the two of them. Let's see how you can get out of this one. I expect Theory. I expect Grayson. I expect Logan's business partner. Yeah, I expect them to come out and somehow do whatever they do, but because the fact that it's a triple threat match, no disqualifications. But we'll see. Because originally, I was saying that it was going to be Logan versus Bad Bunny, but obviously that's not happening. So womp 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 for me. Jay, your thoughts?
Sorry.
There you go in high def, just for you, Daz.
Hey,
Yep,
look, Shane. Hey, no. It is what it is. I was hyped about it, and I thought it was happening, but oh well.
told you there was gonna be no eggs in the Easter basket. Told you. Sorry. But with the match, Randy being a 91 and Waller being a 74, literally the first thing I wrote next to Randy was slow walk. And then, as Shane was saying, they put at the bottom of the screen one of the most decorated superstars in history, and you see the 20 World Championships actually that they showed, and I thought that was cool that they did that. And yeah, maybe Des, maybe you up to something with saying that he's challenging The Rock or anybody else that's when they get up there in age they have that slower walk to the ring, and now ring entrances are gonna take longer than matches. Hey, the OGs get to do that. But also, like, what I noticed during the match was when Randy was doing his old school stuff, they were saying vintage Randy, and they're acknowledging him. And to me, it just feels like we know the road is near for him to end his career as far as who he is. With them acknowledging that stuff, and you know when Theory tried to help, it didn't work. And there's, bro, I think the eventual breakup of that whole thing is they're gonna cost Logan at Mania to win. One of the two is gonna do some uh, dickhead shit. I'm gonna just say it like that. It's gonna be stupid, and they're gonna cost them the title. And you never know what happens from here going on out. But all this came out, and let it be known we got a triple threat for Mania. Hmm, I'm for it, but who wins out of it? That'll be my whole thing. Orton or KO get the belt? Maybe not. Does Logan win it just because they advertised SummerSlam in Cleveland and he's supposed to hold it that long and go further with this belt? It's another thing to think about. And if we're gonna be taking Logan serious, he has to be on TV more. He has to fight more because this was a night that featured Logan pretty much, the first hour, maybe 3 times. And this is what I would expect from him going forward: more appearances, more features, and more in-ring work. So let's see what's gonna happen, guys.
This should be interesting, very interesting. I don't know if Nick looked at it as Logan worrying about two guys or if these two guys get rid of Logan, how would these two guys do it? But at the end of the day, Logan Paul is about big money. Big money on YouTube, big money on his podcast, and even bigger money in the WWE in terms of him being a superstar and him being the owner of a company that has the biggest sponsorship deal that they've ever had. This dude, whether you like him or not, equals big money. So they're going to keep this guy near. Will he lose the title? We don't know. Will he keep the title? In terms of WWE moving forward and getting money, making money with him, I mean, they're milking his guy for as much as they can, and he doing the same, which makes sense. So we shall see. We have a
Shay,
lot of messages, but I'm yes, Des.
yes, exactly. Yes.
Des.
Did you not find it odd that for the first time WWE did not advertise him to be on SmackDown tonight, and he was there? Usually they treat him like a special attraction and be like, oh, he's going to be on SmackDown this coming Friday. But they didn't do that this week. He was just there as if he was a regular participant in the company.
Well, yeah, because usually when they advertise him like that, he's usually like on the stage and he's addressing us. He didn't address us this week, so I guess that wasn't worth the graphic or the mention.
I don't know. That's different.
Yeah. He was backstage. He said a couple things, and then he walked out into the announcement table, and then he walked in and tried to do a couple cheap shots, and then he got his match, and that was that. Wouldn't see why we would have an introduction or like a graphic for that, but I don't know. Maybe if he's on next week to respond, maybe if he's like on the microphone in the middle of the ring, then they'll probably have like a graphic to say that Logan Paul responds or Logan Paul live or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. But I will say this though. We will return after these latest messages. One from Henry.
Obviously, Jay is definitely going to win. But the only thing I hate about this is that they didn't give a lot of a good build for it these last few months since Jay has been on Raw. I mean, once he went to Raw, it was like no bloodline business up until as now, but with good reason because they needed him to get away from the bloodline so he can build himself by himself. Because if he stays on SmackDown, then it's just going to be obviously Roman's going to want his head on the platter every Friday night. So the move made sense. But if you're going to do this match, I love a build. I like a month's build instead of like some things you can put together real fast. I get that. But this right here and how it's supposed to be something we need to take serious. Yeah, you should have been doing this for months. Back and forth, back and forth.
Let's hear from Mars.
Oh no, I don't fall for the kayfabe stuff. I'm too old for that. Chad should be in the match because Chad should be in the match. His ring work alone will put on a way bigger banger than Sami Zayn's. Look, here's the thing. You're trying to elevate the guys who haven't had it, who has paid their dues. Like Chad is right there and his ring work is phenomenal. Like one of you guys said up there, he could low key be like the next Kurt Angle. Just from his wrestling alone, like the guy could wrestle. And I would much rather see a Gunther match with him than Sami Zayn. Big ups to Sami. We still love you, Sami.
And from Lawan says,
I think Logan Paul is gonna retain the title. If I'm Triple H, I'll add Grayson and Theory to the tag team match that's gonna be happening at Mania. I wouldn't be shocked if they won either. That's what I would do, and then I would have a few after Mania between KO and Randy Orton.
we shall see moving forward. We shall see. We had Damage Control. They was in the back. They was spraying whatever. Who knows? Who cares? Wank, wank. Let's go to match number 3. Match number 3 has Santos versus Dragon Lee. Let's just go straight to it. Jay, and then Des to follow. Your thoughts on this match number 3?
Whew. That's what that match was. It was a good one. Even though I just yawned, excuse me, guys. I like the fact that it was, great offense displayed by Dragon Lee, but at the same time, we really don't see him. And like me and Shane was saying at one time, when he lost to Oberfemi, his momentum was lost right then and there, and we didn't see him on TV for a month and a half. He reappears now, he loses again, and you're just like, why? Dragon Lee, you dominated pretty much the entire matchup until just one little sudden move, and here comes Santos with the finisher. And then at the end, Carlito helps, he gets jumped, aka Carlito's paying his dues for a month, as always, And Here comes Mr. Rey Mysterio, as they say, Mr. Simply Ages. He comes out and he tells Santos, "Why are you running? Porque tú estás cogiendo. Don't do that now." And he's saying, "Look, let's get our one-on-one next week." And I'm just scratching my head and I'm thinking, like, why you gonna schedule this match for next week when we as fans was kind of expecting this match for Mania for you to fight Santos? So to me, is there gonna be something different from it when the Mania does come, where it's gonna be LWO versus Legado in total, or like I don't know. It's just weird to me, but good win and good momentum building for for them as well. I want to see the storyline build and see what it's about. But let's just hope it's something right.
For me, I had nothing to write for this. The only thing I wrote in my notes for this match was that it was an odd match because of what you said, Jay. The fact that he had the momentum the entire time and it took one move to beat him. I was just like, what the hell was that? Like, what? Um, Again, I just don't get it. Like, what's the point of the storyline if everybody that represents LWO just keeps losing to Santos's team? Like, I don't get it. So I don't know. I don't know what the angle is with Dragon Lee. Like, I really don't get it. Bro, I'm looking at it right now. He just did the Hurricane Rana outside the ring, and then he gets hit with one move by Santos, and the match is over. Like, what the fuck? Shane, that deserves a womp womp.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. I thought, like, dude, what was that? And it wasn't even like you could have kicked out of that and given us at least 2 minutes more of action. I mean, hell, that would have been more action than Carlito, because Carlito, he's so fragile, and we only renting him out for about 1 minute and 37 seconds, and that's exactly what we got from him. But
This thing is
your
a
last
minute
was
and 37 seconds.
1 minute and 30 seconds. That's all you get
You yo,
from
you
this vintage guy.
you really timed this? You had a stopwatch on him? Yo,
Like you could count it. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Yeah.
Yo,
Uno,
Shane,
yeah. Uno,
you
tres,
sound like
three.
you sound like me when I had my little rant about Lyra beating fucking Lash Legend with a splash. It was like, what the fuck was that? Like, what? You can't even give us a better ending than that. It's the same thing. But this was even funnier. Like he was winning the whole match.
It, you won the whole match with one move. Like, what kind of microwave shit is that? I don't know. I mean, damn, we're having this discussion right here. It's longer than that match. Some of these messages that people are leaving are longer than that match. Are you kidding me? I mean, a message like this one here from Mars.
Yeah, you were able to see this AJ Styles and LA Knight feud since Survivor Series when AJ turned on him talking about, "Oh, you walked over my dead body," but nobody's interested. I'm not buying it. I already don't like LA Knight. AJ's being wasted at Mania. LA Knight can't wrestle for shit. Like, his ring work is horrible.
Ooh, that sounds like Mars sounds like a repeat CD that somebody said the same thing. I wonder who that
Yeah,
was.
they
Here's
lost
somebody.
steam with Dragon Lee when he. I mean, here's the thing. I don't think they lost straight. I don't think that's where he lost steam. He lost steam when they booked him against Santos at was it Survivor Series, War Games? When they booked that match, I can't remember the event. When they booked that match, and you were just now putting Santos in a spotlight, and you got to pick which one of these guys you're gonna put over. Obviously, it's gonna be Santos. You know, because he has the bigger story right now over Dragon Lee, who is just being showcased to us. So it just, that's where you lost steam with him. He could have lost it. Listen, losing to Open Femi, then he could have just came up to SmackDown full time and had banger matches. That's all.
Jay, do you know the answer to that question as to which PLE that he was talking about when they was fighting?
no, he might be no, he might be right. It might have been around that time.
Shane,
Well, Des.
real quick, all these messages tonight. This has got to be like a record number of messages that we've gotten on any of our Three Bells shows since January 1st. But
It has.
right, it has to be. But you know what it did? It made my wheels turn. And it seems like Friday seems to be the night that Friday or Saturday or whatever, it seems to be the night where I start making invitations. So I would love, because I don't like this messaging shit. It slows the show down. But I would love to have the two fellas from Pod Aggression join us on Monday for the Three Bells Podcast Monday Night Raw recap. If you guys are not busy and able to do so, I would love to bring you up. It'll be the first time that we have another podcast crew on with us live. And I would love to do that so we can keep the show moving and everybody gets to say what they want to say live versus us trying to play back, messages and stop the show. So that's your invitation, fellas. I would love to have you guys on with us on Monday. Shane, I'm back to you.
Isn't it amazing, fellas, that we're at a point now where we have to invite people because we get so many messages? Because there was a time where we was only getting like maybe one or two, and we would play it and then we would keep it moving. But now we're at a point where I guess our topics is worth discussing besides the three gentlemen here at the table. But no, we don't have too much of the show to go because we're just going to talk about two more matches, and then we're going to have some news clips as well as birthday shout outs, as well as an important news clip that I want to have a discussion on because I have to elaborate on it. But let's just get to this next match quick fast. I'm not going to speak too much on it, but I'll let you, Des, and Jay talk more about it if you want. It's match number 4. It's another tag team qualifier match for the 6-pack of Pepsi tag team match at Mania. You had New Karch Republic versus Pretty Ass Deadly. Des, going to start with you and then Jay to follow. Your thoughts on this match?
It's funny. As you said that, Shane, SmackDown's playing in my background, and that match literally just started. But I don't think Pretty Deadly was the perfect opponent for New Catch Republic because they didn't get to highlight the best of their team. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't write anything for this match. I think the suplex on the apron by Pete Dunne was pretty awesome. It was very violent. We love violence in wrestling. And Tyler Bate is she's strong as shit for a little guy. I mean, he caught Kip in midair and just tossed his ass. I was like, wow, that's something that you would think somebody huge would do. So, but yeah, I don't think I like the grouping. I don't think I like seeing Tyler Bates and Pete Dunne versus Pretty Deadly. I don't know. It just didn't mesh too well for me, in my opinion. But I'm not mad at the outcome because these guys want to get back into the picture, and I would love to see them at WrestleMania facing Street Profits, facing the New Day, facing more veteran teams. So yeah, Jay.
I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna be like, look, I feel the same way you do. The pairing was kind of messed up because at a point you had before the elbow injury to one of the members, they had momentum. They was winning matches, and now you're putting them up against another team that has already that momentum, and you're like, bro, don't put two trains that go the same amount of miles against each other. Let them fight another team. Let them steamroll past them. Let them steam past roll another, and y'all meet each other later on. Because I expected those two teams probably to be either at Mania competing for it or like in the finals of all of this to make that appearance. And I feel it was a waste of time because I expected more action from Pretty Deadly, more of the conniving, the cheating ways to win the match, but that didn't happen, and they got hit with that Birmingham, which is a devious finisher from the New Catch Republic, and good win for them. And what else can I say about them? They already had a chance and they didn't get it, but hey, they're gonna get a chance again, and hopefully we'll see Pretty Deadly back in the picture down the line. Hopefully, don't drag them out that far down the line, but hopefully they get their chance again quick.
I said this before. I remember saying that I was not the biggest fan of Pretty Deadly because of the whole stitch that they do with the clothes and the cocky attitude and the annoyance on the microphone. But their ring skills and the way that they feed off each other and compliment each other is freaking amazing. Like these guys are really, really good. And New Catch Republic, they're good also. And again, like Jay, like you said, you had these two exact trains that was going after each other, and it was better off if they had like two separate opponents and then beat those opponents so that they both can advance into Mania. That would have been, I think that would have been a better picture also. But maybe they have some ideas for Pretty Deadly moving forward. Who knows? We'll see. Just a quick reminder: we have Ray versus Santos for next week's edition of SmackDown, as well as bracket number 2 for Mania for this whole tag team two-pack thing. And then Roman and Cody will be face to face. All of this and more will be next week on SmackDown. We're going to come to the end now. Let's just get right to this main event with Bailey versus Dakota Kai and the group that she formed, Damage Control. Jay, I'm
Shane,
going to start with.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Shane, but it's very important.
Go ahead.
Did you not notice that they did something for the first time ever on WWE TV tonight? They showed signs. Like they actually showed signs throughout the audience and said, "We want y'all to bring more, do more, so you can be on TV." Like that's a new segment. Like that was something weird. I was like, "What the hell is going on?" Since when do y'all show the signs from the crowd? Like they do that when you're there, and while the show's on commercial, they have the different like throw up your signs. But I was like, "This is on TV right now." Like, did you not? You didn't catch that, Jay? Like, am I bugging?
No, I caught it. You're not bugging. Yeah, it's like a little thing now. I guess they want to have more people show signs, like back in the Attitude Era, where you saw more signs than people. If that's the angle that they're trying to go for, then they just made the call. We'll see a change as soon as Monday, I guess, for Raw, right, Jay?
I will love to continue seeing it, because that's what I wrote on my paper. I wrote showing signs, something new, for I guess for this generation, and where, maybe it was that time where The Rock was standing and that fan came with the sign, and The Rock was asking for it, like, you could have kept the graphic up, you could have left it up, type shit, and now look at it, it's being used, and you heard WWE, you heard Corey Graves saying like, bring them, we'll show them, and me, as one who grew up into that lifestyle, seeing all the fans with the signs and everything, and you see that a lot, I'm for it. Good way to push us, the universe, into wanting to do more and be creative. I'm for it.
Cool. Coming soon, more signs, including Die Rocky Die. Main event, Bailey versus Dakota Kai, featuring the faction that Bailey has created, Damage Control. Des, I'll start with you, and then Jay to follow about your thoughts on this match.
All right. Well, maybe I should have ended this because I'm the Bebe fan on here. I coined the nickname Bebe, but it's okay. I'll start us off. Um, Bebe came out guns blazing, man. She was ready. She was just throwing hands, tackling motherfuckers. She was ready. She was ready for everybody, and I love that. You can see the frustration. You can see the pent up energy. And not just that, but the excitement of actually being in the main event of the SmackDown. I mean, they show her love, but they don't show her the same love that they give a Bianca Belair or a Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch. Like she's like the redheaded stepchild of the four horsewomen for some reason, but it is what it is. Yeah, I was just intrigued at the fact that Damage Control was finding different ways to get in the match to distract her enough, but not do anything to cost the match. And it was annoying the shit out of me because I was like, yo, if Kyrie Singh gets in this match one more goddamn time, I'm gonna throw my TV and maybe she'll feel it. But yeah, I'm like, they got this dumbass referee, the dumbest referee of them all, being in the main event. And I'm like, yo, look at what's going on. But real quick, some points that I wrote down. Dakota, she had a nice stomp into in the corner to Bailey. That was pretty cool. Bailey hit a nice cutter in the ropes to Dakota Kai. Bailey obviously showing her love for Shawn Michaels and Macho Man with that elbow. Yeah, that overhead kick to Bailey by Dakota was stiff, and I was like, oh shit, goddamn. And then eventually Damage Control couldn't help themselves, and they got in the match, and then they just started jumping Baby. And as we stated, we said that we felt like every week we would find out a different friend or ally of Bailey would reveal themselves and come and help her situation. And this week we got Naomi, but Damage Control is 4-2, so the numbers are not in their favor. So Damage Control got the better end of it. And yeah, let's see who else comes out and helps. If I'm not mistaken, we have enough SmackDowns to get maybe a third person in, and then I guess we'll have to wait until WrestleMania to see if there's a fourth person to come in and help out the situation. Jay?
Well, with me, like, what I got from that match was, we finally got to see Dakota Kai after all this time, make her grand appearance into the ring and actually fight for once. You know, she displayed some offense, which I thought like I was like, wait a minute, maybe she could, pull this one out if she keeps on trying. The offense was there. But Baby was in control pretty much 80% of this match, and the power bomb was sick. You know, all of this stuff with damage control, trying to interfere, coming in the ring, all of that other stuff. Man, you could just tell that she needs friends. And like you said, we got Naomi tonight. And the fact that the crowd during that match was chanting "Whoop that Trick," and you heard Wade Barrett say, "Trick Williams must be so happy right now to hear his chant being, sung in the ring, and he's not even on the main roster yet." Like, guys, you could really imagine the pop he gets when he does become on the main roster. The crowd's
Jay,
gonna love him, bro. Talk to me.
Jay, did you hear that little side note that Corey put in after that? He mentioned the Memphis Grizzlies, like, because their fans do that at every game. So I was like, okay, Corey with the little tidbits.
Yeah, man, that shit is cool. And you know what's the crazy thing? With the crowd chanting for Bianca, and Bianca didn't come out in her hometown. Like, wait a minute, they chanted for you. Like, I wonder how the fans feel about her not coming out at home to come and help. Is this her way of letting us know that or them letting us know that she's not gonna even touch hands in this whole situation because she wants to be the main event, and you know this doesn't do anything to Bianca Belair's undefeated streak?
Hmm. Well, we should know moving forward as to whether, well, of course, Naomi is still going to be there because, payback, payback. And somebody is going to come from backstage and surprise us. I don't know who it's going to be, but somebody has to come out. Like, it has to be more than just Bay and Naomi. But it was good to see the women close out SmackDown. Let's see. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I want to move now to the news clips for tonight. I want to move to the news clips of tonight. And then at the end, I want to hear you guys, Des and Jay's response to the news clips, as well as news clips that you guys might have yourself that you want to add. News clips, not, did you know? No, 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 no. These are news clips.
Excuse me, hold on. Why are you taking shots at me for? I'm sitting here just waiting for the news clips. I love the news clips. As you know, I invited you on Raw 2 weeks ago for news clips. Why are you taking shots at me for, bro? Come on now. It's a family show.
And keep in mind, you already did it, did you know, tonight. So
I just did that because I know LaJuan. He likes that, so I just wanted to make him laugh. It wasn't really. Did you know? I just pressed the button.
That's what it was. You did it for LaJuan. After these messages, leave your name and number, and I'll have it for LaJuan.
But look, he's sending all those laughing emojis. So yes, he's laughing. LaJuan, bro, my guy.
Well, here's the news clips for this week, along with additionals if my partners have. So let's hit it. First, let's say congratulations to Mercedes Moné, for we know she did her debut at AEW, but guess what? Yeah, her bestie's there with her. Bayley, Naomi, and Tamina. Now, here's my question. Will Miss Monet be at Mania to support Bayley for her title match? Speaking of AEW, Sheldon Benjamin, remember him, Sheldon Benjamin? He is officially a free agent as of September 2023. And he is expressing interest, as well as AEW has interest, on signing him. So we might see him in their AEW within the next month or so. Who knows? This is a light, fluffy rumor. But a lot of people are saying that Mania and future PLEs just might start at 7 p.m. Maybe they got this idea from the Oscars. Because as you know, the past Oscars, they started at 7 p.m. and they had one of the highest ratings, that being one of the reasons. And then at the same time this week, of course, we know Logan Paul. He exclusively announced SummerSlam at Cleveland Browns Stadium on Saturday, August 3rd. Again, will this SummerSlam, start at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m.? I'd like to say congratulations to Emma. Emma, she got married to her boo, Madcap Moss. They started dating in 2002, got engaged in mid-2003, and they got married just last week. Congratulations. Speaking of hookups, Whoop That Trick says Last Legend. For Last Legend and Trick Williams, they shared the kiss on this past NXT. I was just thinking, is this real or is this just for TV? Apparently, they are in a real relationship. They've been keeping it as a secret behind the scenes, but they've been spending quite a bit of time together in recent months. Congratulations. And we have two more additions to the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2024. We have Claude Patterson, wrestled from 1964 to 94. He also goes by the name K.O. Patterson, Sweet Daddy Brown, Thunderbolt Patterson, and T-Bolt. And there's another addition, and this is me leading up to this very interesting conversation. Let me stop this music here. And then Des and Jay, I want you guys to respond to this especially. So another addition to the Hall of Fame is one Leah Maivia. She is Peter Maivia's wife and also the grandmother of The Rock. And she is famous for taking over the Polynesian Pro Wrestling, or PBW, as well as the National Wrestling Alliance in Hawaii after the passing of Peter, because he was the promoter. When he passed, Leah took over. This is what I have discovered as I was doing my research on her. Let's go back up to the Anuahi family tree. We're going up to Peter Maivia. Peter Maivia is what you would call blood brother pack related to the Anuahi. They don't share parents, but they do this thing where I guess they, shed blood or something like that, and it said, boom, we're brothers. From there, he met this lady named, and I have to play her name. This is a very interesting name that I can't pronounce. But Leah was married before she met Peter. This first husband and Leah, they had a daughter, and her name was... Now, this is not Peter's daughter. This is the husband for the first husband. When Leah married Peter, Peter adopted Ada. That long name that you just heard, that's Ada's that was her initial name. When Peter adopted her, she became Ada Maivia. Ada Maivia then met Rocky Johnson, and then they have a son, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So my thing is, how much of a bloodline is really The Rock? Because The Rock's mother was adopted by Peter Maivia, who is a blood brother, bloods rubbing together against a Anawahi. Jay, well, Des, let me start with you, and then Jay to follow. What do you think of what I just said? And do you have any news clips to add to the news clips for this week?
Well, I get why you're starting with me because of how I addressed this news when you broke it to me. I found it very interesting. As someone who watched the show Young Rock, this was not something that was mentioned at all. They bypassed that and just made it seem as if, it was just all blood. But I'm gonna be real, and people might not like it, but The Rock is not a part of the bloodline. He's not. People were making fun of, Nia Jax's position in that whole bloodline tree, and she didn't have any connections with anybody. That's how I feel with The Rock now, knowing this information. You can be adopted, but just the blood is not running through your veins. And bad enough, we already saw that it was a handshake agreement between the Maivias and the Naho, whatever, what do you call it, Roman side of the family. So bad enough it was that. So now it's like, okay, you really don't have any bloodline. You don't have anything to do with this, but the fact that your mom or whoever was adopted. So yeah, I'll be the bad guy. The Rock's not a part of the family. He's living that black life. The friend of the family is considered as your uncle or your aunt, even though they're really not. But yeah, that's how I feel. Jay?
Well, with me, the way I feel about it, like, will we have gotten this moment where she's being inducted? Only, would she be inducted if, like, say The Rock wasn't there? Would she be getting inducted at any time soon? Or was this a Rock poll? The Rock having family ties, and now he's throwing his family into the Hall of Fame. It's just, funny to me. And Maybe, like, I'm gonna keep it like this as far as family wise in the bloodline thing. If they selling it to us on TV that he's bloodline, well then sell it to us that way. But we as the casual fans, the ones that go deep into it and everything, that know the real truth, then fuck it, let it be. We know he's not bloodline, but let the story sell itself and let them make us believe that this is some type of a family. And if at any moment they do decide to say, like, look, on the shows, you're not really family, and then this really explodes and blows up, this would be some shit, that we could discuss later on, which I know that's gonna happen between all of us, between us on the panel, between the listeners, it's gonna happen. So, you know, like I said, would this have really been pulled if The Rock wasn't in charge? Would Leah be in at this moment? Or I never even thought about even bringing her onto it. And like Des was even saying, like, the Young Rock was the only time I've ever heard about anything within the family and how it started within what Leah was doing and the NWA thing. So, this is weird to me. Shane?
Shane, before you go, I have two things real quick. One, I want to apologize because on Monday, I do the segment of WWE rumors, reactions, and hot takes. And one of the rumors that I put out was the list of the 2024 class of Hall of Famers. And apparently that list that I mentioned and the names on that list is obviously becoming true. So again, I mentioned it on Raw and I said it was a spoiler, possibly. I wasn't sure. But the fact that it's actually happening, I do apologize. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. So I'm sorry about that. Number two, yeah, I forgot number two. I forgot number two. So go ahead, Shane. Back to you.
See, you forgot number 2 because you were so shady to do number 1. See, that's what happened.
Shane.
Really, Shane?
Now do you remember?
Oh, yeah, I do remember now.
There you go. You're welcome.
Yeah, I lost it again.
Oh, go on, yo.
Shane, I was gonna say one thing before you move on. The one news thing that I do have is that it seems like that WWE is having a joint collaboration with GCW. That's independent wrestling federation, and Shayna Baszler seems to be, she's chosen as one of the people headlining that card on Sunday, April 4th. So, it's something to keep an eye about, and where Triple H and the company has their eyes on as far as the indies. Let's keep our eyes peeled for that.
So what is that? Is that like another wrestling or is it UFC? Because I see her as doing both. Or like what is this stitch that would have Shayna fit into it?
They're just another company that does independent wrestling, pretty much. Like the other indies that are out there, like MLW, and the rebirth of like NWA, TNA. Is basically our eyes to see something different. It seems like what we was talking about like the other day, as far as like the way the other brand has it with AEW. They got New Japan, they got Ring of Honor. It seems like with WWE, if they could have worked with TNA at any point, maybe now they add the third group to it, and maybe working with GCW as well expands that into having situations where now you got 3 brands working with each other, and your guys can go to any of these 3 back and forth. Maybe this is something for the future that we're gonna see with WWE.
I remember now, Shane.
Hit it.
I seen that my guy, The Undertaker, he feels that he cannot come to live events because it gives him that itch to want to get back in the ring one more time. So I found that interesting because I'm like, bro, you do travel with the guys, you went to Australia with them, but do you guys think that The Undertaker, after retiring and having his last match in 2020, do you guys think that he can do one more match? I mean, we gave Stone Cold, we let him do it against KO. And since Taker has had his surgeries done and, he's pretty much healthy, would you want one more match from The Undertaker? Shane J?
I mean, I understand that itch. Like, you just have that itch and you just want to muster up as much energy as possible to just have one more match. Even though you said it before and you said it before that. You said, let me just have just one more. Because I understand that the way that ring will call your name, just like with Des, because you like to sing. how that mic just calls your name. You say, I can't because my voice, but it just keeps calling you and calling you like this drug. And we've seen The Undertaker's we've seen his career and everything that he has gone through because that ring just keeps calling him and calling him to a point where he even left his family because it was about that ring that kept calling. So I understand the calling, but does he have it in him to do the do? Like, do you want to look like Ric Flair out there as to whoever you're fighting is like going to oversell everything that you're doing? I mean, Undertaker, I love you, guy. I mean, I love you, but when it's time to say goodbye, you have to say goodbye to the ring and the action in the ring. But please stay around the ring, stay in and out, and stay in connection with us, the universe. Jay?
Jay, before you go, I got one more thing to add on to this, Shane. Well, two things. One, he's been around the PC. He's been, training and helping new talent, develop their skills and stuff of that nature. But this reminds me of the conversation that we had a few weeks ago when I mentioned that Mick Foley wants to come out of retirement and compete again. And at first you guys was like, no, blah, 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 blah. But then, when I spoke more on it, you guys were like, you know what? Okay, maybe he can get one more in him. And I think as far as The Undertaker, he feels cheated because his last match wasn't in a ring. His last match was basically that movie that we saw for WrestleMania against AJ Styles. So he didn't, he retired, yes, he got the proper send-off as far as the Hall of Fame, but as far as having the last match, he never got it. He never got that last match in the ring. So I get what he's saying. Maybe that's what's itching him, the fact that his last match was not in the ring itself. So, yeah, Shane, Jay.
I mean, look at the last. I'm sorry, Jay. Just going to be a sec. I understand that with that very last thing that he did with AJ, which he is going to. That's like on his bucket list. But look at the other matches that he had. Look at the match that he had with. Oh God, what is Stone Cold's twin brother name? Goldberg. Look at that match. Look at that tag team match that he had with Shawn Michaels and Triple H. They weren't the best matches. It wasn't the best time. It just was like towards the end. So is it possible that we might see that again more so than a worthy match, like a match that he can say, yeah, I'm glad I did that, rather than just
But
saying, you know what, let's just enjoy. Like, I'm going to leave what happened as the last. Why I
but
still can't, because who
but when
knows
you
what can happen.
yeah, right, but when you bring that when you bring that up, he wasn't 100%, and Triple H got hurt within like the first few minutes of that match. So you're fighting against a Triple H that's already compromised, a Shawn Michaels who just came out of retirement, and then Undertaker who's not 100%. This wasn't after he got everything fixed up. So I can't lean on that as can he still do it?
I'm not just leaning on that. I'm leaning on everything, including that. If he were to go on the ring right now, if he were to walk towards the ring right now, how long would it take for him to get from the back into that ring?
He's
That
not the
walk
dead.
right there alone, it should tell you a lot.
He's
You know
not
what
the
I mean?
dead.
I mean,
He's not the
let's
dead
keep it
man
real.
anymore, though. He's
I'm not
not the
talking
dead
about him
man
being a
anymore.
dead man. I'm
He
not
would
talking
be in
about
a
any of that.
he would be
No,
on a
I'm not talking
motorcycle.
about that. I'm talking about his speed, his agility, the speed of him making the punch. Can he run back and forth in the ring? Can he deliver like at least like a decent match that we can remember? Are you going to
Did
give
you?
us a match that? Are you going to give us like a remarkable match that we're going to remember? Or are you going to give us a match that's going to be like, dude, you should not have done that? Like
So what
this
were you?
match here would be a 50 bad or 50 good.
So and with that same breath, so Stone Cold's last match with Kevin Owens. What do you say about that? Because Stone Cold's older than the Undertaker, and we allowed him the main event WrestleMania Saturday. So like, what do you say?
Has he had as many surgeries as The Undertaker?
Stone Cold was retired way longer than the Undertaker was. Stone Cold was retired like 20 years before Taker was because he had a bad neck. So I'm like, if we can allow him to do that, why not give the Undertaker a chance to have one last match in a ring to finish his career? We don't know. I mean, like he said, I don't know if you saw his documentary. He thought that he would find, in his brain and his mind and how his body felt after he got surgery done, he wanted that match with John Cena to go longer than what it did, but Vince didn't allow it. He felt that he can get further along that. So now, with him not having to compete, and still just training and stuff like that, you don't think that he can give you one more good match? He's not the dead man anymore. So him as the American Badass, he doesn't have to do the sit-ups and pretend like he's not getting hurt and all that. Like, you don't think that he can make that work?
I don't know. I'm just like with the Stone Cold, like he showed and proved, like, okay, if you could give a match like that, because obviously that Stone Cold match was good. It was good enough for us to even talk about it right now, how long ago that was. Because it was a damn good match. They was all over the place. Give Triple H, excuse me, give The Undertaker a match like that, where you could go outside of the ring. That way you can use the outside of the ring as, more time to recuperate, or you can use items to hit to give us that wow even more, even though it doesn't take a lot of energy out. If you give us a match like that, boom, I'm all for that. But if you're talking about just one last match with you, like just like in the ring, that I don't want to see. Give me a
I
match
think,
like how they did with Stone Cold, where it's like no rules, 3 count or submission. That I'll
Jay,
buy.
Jay, did they not kind of sort of plant the seeds last year when they had the Undertaker show up to NXT because Braun Breaker kept calling himself a badass? Did they not plant the seeds right there? You don't think that him versus Braun Breaker would, in a match like Shane said, with no rules or anything of that nature, you don't think they could put on?
Braun Breaker might put him into full retirement, bro. As much as we fans of Taker will want to see him
Is that
get
bad?
one, it would be bad, bro.
No,
Breaker's speed might put him through eggshells, bro. It might crack him. And I'm a fan of Taker. I'm just like you. I wouldn't end against fresher talent, and it sucks that there's really only but maybe 2 guys left in the company that are from still his era, you could say, and that's only and Randy and Rey Mysterio are the only guys left from his era because John Cena's not really there. The Rock's popping in and out, so we don't know if we could get one last match between like that, The Rock and Taker. That would be the only thing I would want to see because Bray's not here, and I would have loved to see another Bray Taker match at Mania. As one last ride. But other than that, I wouldn't want him facing any fresh talent at the moment. I will feel it's a waste of his time. But if it's anybody just like I said, someone close to his age, maybe like you said, Mankind, if they ever decide to want to give them 2 guys one last moment, and they want to do it together, and knowing how most generations do, they give us that one really old match. So, if it's gonna be like that, then yeah. But otherwise, I don't know, bro. I don't really think I would do it against anybody that's on this roster, but the few guys that I mentioned.
Shane, I believe Mars has an opinion on this. He left a message, but I'm gonna leave y'all with this one last thing. Bully Ray mentioned that he can see Sting coming out of retirement and coming back to WWE to have one last match there, and I think that maybe it would be against the Undertaker, the match that we all wanted to see for forever. But I don't know.
I don't know, but that's definitely going to be. We're going to talk about that later because that's another topic that can take quite a while, or you can have our own show. Let's play a couple of these most recent messages.
If he does one more match, I would look at WWE and I'm like, hey, bro, call Sting.
See?
Call Sting and give us the match we actually wanted other than that bullshit y'all gave us.
Exactly.
And have him go out like that. Yeah.
Sting should have never faced Triple H.
He just said that.
Right. He should have never faced Triple H at that WrestleMania. Even though that was the WrestleMania that I believe he faced Bray Wyatt, but he should have faced Sting at that WrestleMania. Vince fucked up.
Maybe we can get that because Sting, he can still fight, right? Like that last match he had, it was doable. It was good enough for us to put him in the conversation to go against Taker, for Taker to have his official last match. Let's play for Mars. Mars says,
I think the hardest thing for Taker is like just being around the young guys, because I remember he was on one of the podcasts, he was saying like that one time like Braun Breaker was begging him to chokeslam him, and like that type of itch, like I get, like, I understand, like I could only imagine how hard it is for you not to try to put your boots on again.
I would have done the same thing. Look, listen. Once the 3 bells gets the opportunity to interview The Undertaker, trust you and me, I am going to have a special table made for us. That way, at the end of the interview, I'm going to ask The Undertaker to choke slam me against that table. It would be a freak. Are you kidding me? It's The Undertaker. Goddamn right I want to get slammed by you. It'll be part of my bucket list. I will lay right there on that table and say, okay, for now you can take me, Lord. This right now you can take me. Because that's a moment. Oh boy, Dez. Holy crap, Jay. Look who the hell just left a message. Mr.
To have that match, you need an Undertaker that can go. And I'm pretty sure Calloway has kind of said he was, done at this point. After what we've seen with the last couple matches with The Undertaker. I mean, do you think this Undertaker can still go? I don't know.
Boom, please tread lightly. You know how I'll tell you to tread lightly with CM Punk. You better tread lightly with The Undertaker because I don't play that. But he only said that when he was still injured. He was hurt during that match with Roman Reigns. But he got, everything fixed up when he came back and faced John Cena. And then, COVID hit. He never got that last match in the ring. His last match in the ring was with John Cena. So, at WrestleMania was John Cena. So I think he can give us one more.
Here's one more for LeJuan.
We don't want that match. I don't want that match. It's pointless. It's useless. They're too old. It's not going to be the same. No, no, hell no. Undertaker Sting. Hell no.
But Luan, but you allowed Stone Cold to come back after being retired for like 20 years. And he did what he did. So, what?
Uh-oh, Jay. I have a feeling that, ooh-wee. The fire sizzling. What the
Sting, on the other hand, yes. After the match he put on with Darby Allin against the Bucks, yes, Sting, I think, still has it in him, but I'm not sure if... I don't know if it would be a good match, because the Undertaker that we've gotten, I just don't know if he can still do what he used to do.
Shane, what the thing is with me is, like I stated, the last Mania match that you got with Undertaker was him versus John Cena, and he dominated that match. So I don't understand what everyone is saying right now, because if you compare his match to Stone Cold's match, Stone Cold was moving 10 times slower than what The Undertaker was moving. And like I said, Stone Cold's older than The Undertaker. So if you're just going to bypass the fact that he's older and say, oh, it's Stone Cold, blah, blah, blah. And again, like I said, Undertaker is not portraying the dead man anymore. He said it already. He said that's gone. He's the American badass. So he doesn't have to move slow and all this extra shit. He can move fast and do what he does. Like, I'm not understanding what everybody, I don't know. Y'all are pissing me off, by the way.
How do you know that he can move fast and do as good as a job as Stone Cold? Like, have you seen him do something to come to this conclusion? Because I haven't seen him do anything to come to any conclusion.
Again, you're talking about somebody that retired in 2003, and he retired because of a neck injury versus somebody who retired in 2020.
Dude, I'm talking about Undertaker, not Stone Cold. Stop! Don't compare him to Stone Cold. I'm talking specifically The Undertaker. What is it that is convincing you that he does have what it takes to have this last match?
The fact that he, more recently had a match, like, and he was still going. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one. What are you talking about?
You saying Taker had a match?
The most recent match at WrestleMania he had, besides that shit that we saw at his last WrestleMania match with AJ Styles, was John Cena. And The Undertaker was moving great. Literally, like, he was moving great. And again, I feel like I'm the only one that saw his documentary when he was like, look, I was ready to go. I was ready to go to have more than a 5 to 10 minute match, but Vince cut the shit short. So now you take that Undertaker, and now the fact that he had that movie match with AJ Styles, and he hasn't been doing much for the last 2 or 3 years, but he's still in good shape. Why wouldn't he be able to go for another match? And he doesn't have to portray that dead man character anymore.
Okay, so you're basing this on a physical match that he had with John the match he had with John Cena, that was the last in-ring match that he had at which Mania?
Like 30 something. I forgot. I don't remember. 30 something.
Like what was it, like 35 or like it wasn't
I believe.
recent, right? Like it was.
I think it was what the WrestleMania in 2019, because 2020 is when he had
WrestleMania in New Orleans. WrestleMania in New Orleans when Braun Strowman, picked up the fan in the audience.
Yeah.
So do you think that we would get that Taker? I'm just asking. I'm not saying that you're right or wrong. I'm just asking. That's the Taker that you think we can get like now for his last match.
Because I keep listening, you, whether you want me to compare them or not, but I'm saying the fact that you guys would rather, give Stone Cold, who was out of action for 20 plus years and came back, versus an Undertaker who's only been retired for maybe 3 years.
Why do you keep saying that? Stone Cold has nothing to do with this. I'm specifically asking, like the question is, does he have what it takes to have this last match?
What I am saying,
extremely confident that he is. So what I'm asking is, what is convincing you that he can? And
what I'm saying is, Shane, because if you're listening to everybody that's entering this conversation, they're basing it off of what they last saw between in the ring. They're thinking about him versus Roman Reigns when he was hurt. And I'm telling you, okay, now we saw him after he was hurt and he got healed and he got the replacements and stuff like that. He was moving good. And then we never saw him in the ring again because of the fact that COVID happened. So now it was a movie, but yet, okay, I'm like, okay, if we can allow someone to come back after 20 plus years versus someone who's only been gone for maybe 2 years, why wouldn't he be able to put on another match? Same thing with Mick Foley. He's been retired since 2000? But you guys were like, you know what? I'll give him a chance. So now when it comes to The Undertaker, it's like, I don't know if he can do what he can do before. And I'm like, okay, he's not portraying the dead man anymore. He's the American. He's basically himself. He doesn't have to walk slowly to the ring. He's on a bike. Like, why wouldn't he be able to do that? When you saw him last year in the ring with Braun Breaker, he wasn't moving slow. He was doing what he had to do. Like, why is that such a hard thing to imagine?
All right. If you want to use that, what he did in NXT, and all he did was just throw a punch at Breaker. Like, if you're going to use that, like what is the stop to say that could have been his last appearance in the ring? He was in the ring. He got that feeling. He was able to get some action. There you go. Now you're talking about having a full-length match with you doing the tombstone, possibly with you doing old school, with you jumping out of the ring over the ropes. I mean, there's a lot of agile things that we're talking about for him to do.
But you're talking about the dead man. I'm not talking about the dead man. The American Badass wasn't doing.
Who is this dead? I've never used the word dead man. I'm saying the Undertaker.
But the moves sets that you're talking about is of the dead man. Jumping over the ropes.
Those moves, I specifically said those moves because he's been doing it all his career with all his facades.
When he was American Badass, please don't do it. When he was American Badass, he was jumping over the ropes.
Yes, he wasn't jumping. No, he wasn't flying over the ropes. He didn't do the old school. He didn't do the tombstone as a finisher and the choke slam. He did all of that.
The choke slam, yes. His finisher was the last ride. What are you talking about? He barely did the tombstone when he was the American Badass. It was rare when you saw the tombstone. When he had that match with fucking, Ric Flair, when he ended the match with the tombstone, you're like, oh shit, he ended the match with that? That wasn't something that was normal because he wasn't doing that, because he wasn't the dead man. He didn't want to roll his eyes in the back of his head and all that other shit. Like, bro.
Des, you just gave an idea. Ric Flair versus The Undertaker. There you go. There's your match.
And Jay's laughing, but Jay, right around, Jay,
all the listeners are laughing.
When Undertaker, WrestleMania 17, when Undertaker won the match, did he win it with the tombstone or did he win it with the last ride?
That was Tombstone.
No, he won the match against Triple H with the last ride. He did not win the match with the tombstone.
Okay.
And what is
don't take this out on me. Don't take this out on me because
all the way back to 17.
I don't know. Y'all were both talking at the same time. I didn't hear it. What?
what is the point of going back to Mania 17?
Because his character right now is him being the American Badass. He's not the dead man Undertaker anymore. I don't know how many times I can explain that.
I don't even know who is he right now. Like, if he would have a match right now, who would he be? Would he be
He
the
told
Undertaker?
you.
Would he be badass? Like, what he would
He
be? Is he
oh
going to be
gosh.
Mark? What is he going to be?
All right, now this is getting out of hand now because I already sent y'all the video of when he said when he was in the video, he said the Undertaker, the dead man, was gone because once he lifted the curtain up and became real with all of us, he can't go back to that character anymore. And that's why every appearance that you've seen of him since then, he's been the American Badass from Raw 30 on. He's been the American Badass on the bike. So I don't understand how that's not computing.
Oh, and for the
Guys,
record, as he was the Undertaker dead man not too long ago for fill in the blank J. It was some event where he actually put on the coat and the hat. Somebody paid him big money to do that. I forgot what it was.
Was
So
that
it's like,
non-WWE?
it seems to me that that character still it was outside WWE, but it seems like
So then that doesn't matter.
like a good
We're
amount of money
talking about
out there,
WWE.
which
We are talking about
still gives it
WWE.
light.
We
Right, I
are
understand
talking.
in WWE, but I'm talking about in general. So even us people in the WWE were looking, it's like, oh snap, look, it's the Undertaker. Like he's still
No, but
doing his thing, but
but
outside, like
no, but I'm telling you that if he is doing a World Wrestling Entertainment show, he's not the dead man. He is the American Badass, regardless of what's outside. Everybody can do whatever they want outside. If you watch these guys during house shows, they do whatever they want. They go outside of their characters. That's fine. But if you are on a WWE show, pay-per-view, TV, they stick to that character, and he is the American Badass. So that doesn't matter.
guys, we're getting like a million messages here. Oh my God.
and a
Look what
million
this is.
more laughs.
Exactly. Everybody's laughing. This is funny.
But
So,
it's weird.
like,
It's because it's weird to me because again, you guys would rather accept the fact that Mick Foley would come out of retirement after him retiring in 2000 and saying, "Yeah, I can go ahead and do the same thing I was doing because I'm lighter now." And then Stone Cold coming back after 20 years or whatever, they have a match with KO with no disqualifications. It's no problem. Yeah. But when the Undertaker, who's only been retired for like 3 or 4 years, is like, "Oh my gosh, we can't. There's no way." Like that's fucking stupid to me. It's stupid.
but see, you
First
got to
off,
see how I said
okay,
it.
who
I
said
said
no
it
way, no
differently.
way? Right.
I
And
can't.
secondly,
I
it
didn't hear
seems like
what y'all said.
you're partially using this as, oh, because this person came out and this person came out and this person came out, we supposed to just say, okay, cool, let's just have everybody come out. So
No, that's not what
we
I'm
can't be
saying.
objective and just have, we can't say, oh, this person can, but this person can't. So now your argument is, oh, okay, because we say this person can and this person can't, and all of a sudden I say the Undertaker, and we're going on like this and talking like this now. So we can't be objective like that.
I'm just saying because none of y'all have actually given me an actual reason to why he can't.
I said my reason why, and like I said, it's because of the talent that we have out there. I don't want to see him go against the fresher talent. If he's gonna fight anybody, like Mars said, like you said, it should be someone within his age bracket, not one of these young guys who's gonna probably leave his hips all broken and he has to get like a third or fourth hip surgery. We don't want to see the Undertaker like that. If we're gonna see him leave it out there in the ring, let it be with someone who's similar to him and a legend. Like you said, Sting, Mankind, Flair, those guys, the OGs. We leave it up to them to decide and leave it up to the higher ups if they feel that this match is needed. I understand Stone Cold did it. I understand, others are doing it, like such as The Rock. He's doing it. He's back in the ring and such. But The Rock never had significant injuries. Stone Cold we know was gone because of his neck, but Stone Cold's pop is just as similar to the Undertaker's and The Rock's. The crowd loves it. So for any Undertaker fan, they're gonna want to see Taker one last time, but it's got to be a time where it's needed. If the current product is hot and is not that stale, then maybe Taker give these guys some advice, help them along the way, and you know show us why wrestling is what wrestling was for you and for now.
But the
I'm
thing
not.
is, the thing is though, I said that. I said that he's been helping out in the PC, and then I mentioned that maybe he would come back to face Sting, And the only other person I said that, they laid some seeds to was Braun Breaker. Other than that, I get what you're saying. I get it.
Like, look at the influence that he's left. Like you said, at the PC, look whose character has evolved, and you've talked about it
Don't
having like
say
an
it.
under.
Don't say
I'm
it.
talking
Don't
digest.
say it. Yeah, but you didn't believe. You didn't roll with me when I said that shit.
No, that's what I'm saying. Now, with what you're saying with him being at the PC, look at the influence he's left. He left it to a guy like that, a guy that had nothing going, and for Undertaker being there, now his character is different. He's embraced it. The leather jacket, talking about that, just certain things, like rest in peace, and all the other thing. But, maybe that's gonna be Undertaker's mark, is by just influencing this youth, the younger youth. And you see now we see more choke slams being used. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I noticed
Mm-hmm.
someone in AEW using the what you call it, the walking of the ropes, old school. Someone uses it in AEW. I can't recall who it is, but I saw it.
I'm sure
And
Boom was gonna tell you.
yeah,
Right.
Boom
So,
probably knows.
fellas,
So yeah,
So,
that's
fellas, this is this. I'm sorry, but this is such a deep and passionate conversation. Like, we really need to find a day to have like a special show. Like I'm serious, Des. Like, I'm not just talking fluff, Des and Jay. Like, I'm dead serious for us to like pick a day, like just a single day where we can actually like sit down and really talk deep into this. Because this is like really like a really deep and passionate conversation that can have its own night.
Yeah,
Do you agree with me, Des and
I,
Jay?
I agree with you, and I only brought it up because you asked if we had any more news clips. That was something that I had, but for sure. But Shane, go ahead and go through your messages because this is getting out of hand. I'm gonna be quiet,
It's
everybody.
a
I'm gonna be
whole
quiet.
loads.
You
But
won't
the
hear
good
from
news
me until
is,
Monday.
yeah, right. It's only no, we're not gonna do that because I do want to hear your voice on other topics. We still got a couple before we end. I'm just gonna quickly play these last few fellas, all right? So please don't be mad. Here's one from Mars.
Bro, that match with Cena lasted under 3 minutes.
I take it, Des, that he's talking about Cena versus Undertaker.
Right, but if you watch the documentary, Undertaker thought that the match would be longer, but Vince cut the match while they were out there. Vince cut it. That's what happened.
So you saw that he had more in him past that 3 minutes.
Yeah, like I said, if you watch the Undertaker's documentary and you saw him after he had his hip surgery, he was good to go. And he was expecting to have a longer match, but Vince cut the match while they were out there. That's
No, I'm
what
talking
happened.
about no, I'm talking about you watching the actual match. Like, did you see like when he was pinned or when the match was over? Did you see that he still had enough energy to continue, or for it to have
Yeah.
went long? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, it ended up being a squash match, but yeah, I did. Compared to
Okay.
him facing Roman the year before where he could barely move. Yeah.
Okay, and again, you're saying that because of that was surgery. He had surgery, and then he fought Cena, which he was in better shape, better condition.
Right. And he actually said in the documentary that, he wishes that he would have had the surgery before the match so he could give Roman a better match. He's the one that said that he believes Roman should have been the one to be the one to defeat the streak. So he has a lot of respect for Roman and he felt that way. So yeah.
Okay, see now you about to start another chapter again, which is why we need to have a full night because that right there is a whole nother discussion. What you just said. Here's a message from Lawan.
That John Cena Undertaker match do not count. That match wasn't even advertised. That match lasted 3 minutes. That does not count.
It was advertised. We had a whole John Cena rant every week on Monday Night Raw leading up to WrestleMania. It was advertised. He challenged The Undertaker, and he kept trying to push The Undertaker to show up at WrestleMania, which he eventually did. Shane, I'm not going to say no more. I'm done.
That's right, too, Lawan.
Shut up, Shane.
Okay, yeah, you got a point. I mean, Austin did have that match with KO. He did, and he was not that bad. So, okay, I'll give you that. And yeah, I mean, I guess there's only one way to find out. I guess let's see what Taker can do in the ring. Because I do not need that Taker versus Goldberg match again. That was a travesty. Oh. That was a real travesty. Anyway.
I lied. That was Goldberg's fault.
Boom.
Boom. That was Goldberg's
You
fault.
see, that's personally me. I wouldn't take this. Okay, I understand exactly what you're saying. They just don't. Okay, I understand. He's the American Badass Taker. He is only going to appear on our TVs if he was to ever appear again or for a match. He is going to be the American Badass. He deaded the digging holes and taking souls Taker. You know, he's bike riding, still down with the devil. Big evil Taker. You know. Yeah, he's not gonna be Mark Gallows standing 6'10", about to get on the court. You know, he's the American Badass Undertaker. This is my yard.
Thank you very much.
Uh-oh, Jay. Looks like Des might have found a new tag team partner.
Here you go again, trying to assign me a partner. Stop doing that. Stop. Just because somebody agreed with me doesn't mean that they have to be my tag team partner. Lawan,
Well,
I have complete allegiance with Lawan, whether we agree or disagree or not. But I appreciate that.
you inspired me to say that because you gave his message 3 bells. You didn't give
Because
the other messages 3 bells, but you specifically gave that one.
I didn't agree. I didn't agree with it. So I'm supposed to give 3 bells to a comment that I didn't agree with.
Oh, cornel. Yeah, just like we. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, Jay. Whatever you're thinking, Jay. Exactly. We love you too, Mundo.
I don't like y'all. I don't like y'all. Okay.
Wow.
Well, here you go, Des. I'll tell you what, Des. I'm going to give you this special rainbows sprinkle cookie that we call Happy Birthday Shoutouts. It's our favorite part of the show, everyone. It's the time where we
Yeah.
say Happy Birthday. If you're celebrating a birthday this week, we like to say Happy Birthday to everybody. For you're also celebrating with Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny celebrates 30. And ring announcer JoJo, Bray Wyatt's fiance, she turns 30. And Santos, remember the snake guy? And his daughter is currently in NXT, Ariana Grace. Welcome to the club, dude. He's 50. And a special heavenly birthday shout out to the Iron Sheik, born 1942, and he passed in 2023 at the age of 81. Happy birthday. And don't forget her puppies. She got the puppies of WWE, Mae Young. She was born 1923 and passed in 2014 at the young age of 90. And on a personal note, I want to give a special heavenly birthday shout out to my homie JJ Howe. He would have turned 52. Remember, that's the homie that had the home chorus service, and he was the one where I went to BBQs and celebrated his transition. So I say happy birthday to you, homie. Love you always. We say happy birthday to all of our WWE superstars as well as all of the superstars in your hearts. Des and Jay, are there any birthday shout outs or anniversaries you would like to mention?
For once, I do not, but JJ, definitely a happy birthday to you. Yeah, definitely. You you touched all of us here at Three Bells, and yeah, Shane, again, to his family, our condolences, and thank you for letting us know that.
Thank you, Des. Jay?
And as for me, damn it, I don't know nobody that has a birthday this week, so I'm not shouting out nobody but your guy, Double J. Blessings to you, brother man.
That's cool. That's cool. Maybe next week. Next week we'll have more birthdays. Happy birthday to everyone. All right. So, believe it or not, that is our show. But we have our final question for tonight with Jay and then Des to follow. You know what time it is? It's our 3 bells match and or moment of the night. Jay?
I would say tonight, my match of the night, I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, even though the match was kind of slow, I'm gonna go with the Santos and Dragon Lee fight as being the match of the night. Just because, you know, I like speed a lot in certain matches where it's featured at, and both guys were, you know, displaying it, and we just got that one sudden move and the fight was over. You know, I thought that was all right. And my move of the night was that KO RKO that we seen from Kevin Owens and Mr. Randy Orton himself.
Ooh. Shane, if by chance, can you go first? Because I'm still diving through this right now.
Okay, no problem. My match of the night, believe it or not, was the New Hot Republic in Pretty Deadly. You know, this Pretty Deadly guys, they are really growing on me in terms of their in-ring action. They are really, really good. I really like how they read off each other and they complement each other, and their moves are really good. And it's amazing that, and I'm starting to get their gimmick now with this whole one side of the coin. They're flamboyant. They wear these, these androgynous clothes or whatever you want to call it. And then on the other side, they kicking ass in the ring. I know that they probably had to tone it down a little bit. I know that they could have given more, but for what I've seen today, they definitely made me a fan in terms of their in-ring action. The moment of the night, I'm going to agree with Jay on this one. That how you call it, stunner RKO on Theory. One of the he is in my opinion becoming one of the best sellers in WWE. Like Theory is an amazing seller, and that stunner a RKO, it was all the money, all the money. Des, you ready?
Yeah. For me, the match of the night. By the way, Shane, you didn't throw any 3 bells behind anything. Just want to let you know that.
I'm so sorry. Those 3 bells are for you, Jay, and then here's 3 more bells for myself, and then
Exactly.
Des has his own bells. So thank you for reminding.
No problem, bro. That's what we're here for. My 3 bells match of the night. I will give it to the same match as you, Shane. New Catch Republic versus Pretty Deadly. Again, I'm invested in Pete Dunne, Curse Die, Peace Dunne, and Tyler as well. And my moment of the night. It'll be different from you guys, but the moment when The Rock's current song switched over to Hollywood Rock, that was fucking amazing to me. I loved it. So that's my moment of the night. When The Rock song switched over from his current theme to Hollywood Rock, I loved it. I'll give myself
Cool.
3 bells. I'll give
Give yourself
myself 3 bells.
Here's the 3 bells. Oh no, you got 6 bells.
But yeah, I mean that. But come on, y'all can't deny like that shit was fucking awesome, man. Like, god damn, like who saw that coming? Nobody saw that coming.
No, I'm not
Nobody
disagreeing
saw
with
that
you at all. I'm laughing because I pressed the button and you got 6 bells instead of 3. That's a one and only time. That's your early birthday present. Very early birthday present.
It's okay. Look, I'm the EVP. It's all good. You can give me 6 bells for the EVP. It's all good.
You know, I could give you a lot. I could give you this also, and it'll still make sense. But
No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Come on now, Shane. Shane, you want to have another week of everybody doing different shows? Shane, come on now.
oh, you calling me out? What, you think I can't handle that? How good was the Raw show that I hosted? Are you kidding?
How would you do with
awesome.
how would you do with NXT though? It's easy to do Raw after doing SmackDown, but how would you do with NXT? You got to pay attention.
You're forgetting that now on NXT they're actually telling us who's doing the backstage now. It's not as much as a mystery as it was not too long ago. So
that shit was fucking hard, man. That shit was hard as fuck, man. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was hard. Oh man.
It'll be, I promise you, if you were to host again an NXT, it'll be so much better for you because you would know more of the people now because they actually telling us now. Yeah. And now we have a better understanding of the NXT brand thanks to Triple J. So
I was trying to figure out like when do we tell everybody about when WrestleMania week? Are we gonna wait until WrestleMania week to explain what's gonna happen because we have more shows that week than we would normally have, or like are we gonna wait till the week before, 2 weeks before?
Probably like 2 weeks. I would say 2 weeks. Like we would have the flyers and everything made because if I'm not mistaken, we have 9 shows. We're talking about your Raw show starting. Mm-hmm. And then my SmackDown show afterwards ending. That's a total of 9 shows, dude. So yeah, I would say like 2 weeks. It's gonna be it's gonna be a monster. It's gonna be a monster 2 weeks for us. Very monster week.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. So enjoy the vacations.
We'll be zombies.
Right. And during that time, fellas, we'll be celebrating our 50th show. So everybody stay tuned for that.
You, yeah, yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
it's gonna
Woo!
get some senior benefits, huh? Mm-hmm. Get some
Yeah.
free food, get some free train rides. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for 50.
50% off at IHOP.
MCA
Yes.
don't play no free. MCA don't play free. They don't do
Anyway, and I'm so glad we're ending on this laughing note. That's our show for tonight. I am way over time. We are kissing 2 hours and 45 minutes. I'm only supposed to get 2 hours, but the executives of the Three Bells podcast said, you know what, you guys are doing so good. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. But we had an awesome show tonight. Awesome show. Thank you so much for everybody. And I mean each and every person that tuned in today. Thanks for everybody that left messages. I apologize if I wasn't able to play all of them, but I tried to play the most recent ones. So thank you everyone for being here. Thanks to the homies, Mundo, aka Mr. AKA, and Mr. Triple J himself for being here today. Quick, fast, a reminder, you could join Mundo, Mr. AKA Dez, as he hosts Raw every Monday at 11:15 p.m. And then on Tuesday, we have our NXT recap with Triple J. That's at 10:20 p.m. And then you can come back on Fridays and hang out with me if you're bored at home. Come on and hang out with us with our Smackdown every Friday night at 10:15. It's your homie Shane O'Mac from the Three Bells Podcast, East New York section of the table, saying thank you so much for joining us today. Jay, you could close out, and then Des to follow the closeout. It's me saying good fight, good night. Jay?
Triple J is now leaving Yo City for the weekend, and I'd like to thank everyone that's been following us tonight. Shout out to all the listeners: Lawan, Hennessy, Mars, Drew, Boom, Charlie, Spotlight, everybody that came and listened to us tonight. Have a great weekend, and yeet.
And for me, your boy, the host, Monday Night Raw, Three Bells Podcast. Again, Pod Aggression, you guys are invited to my show on Monday. I would love to have y'all on the show. And thank you to everybody that joined us tonight. For Jay, for Shane, this is your boy Mundo, Mr. AKA himself. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on Monday.
Yeet.
And as always, no yeet.